Evening, y'all. How's it going? Welcome to another Lockdown Live chat. As usual, joined with my awesome co-host, the purveyor of all things Dracona Media, Mr. Alec Lyle. How's it going?
Oh, no, it's all good, man. Can't complain. We're in whatever week of lockdown, so, South Africa just keeps on going. So, yeah.
Lockdown is like Christmas, the gift that just keeps on giving. Yeah, good times. Well, anyway, so today we're joined by a special guest. We actually have had this band actually requested a couple of times, especially since we went the hardcore route. So rather than actually embellish too much, let's just welcome Pieter and Adri of Peasant. Welcome, guys.
Hello. What's up, dudes?
Hey. How's it going?
Thanks for having us.
Super
cool.
Yeah, glad we could actually make this work. It's been a little bit of a mission, but usual case, we don't usually want to have guests on unless they have something interesting to talk about. So here you guys are. So
I'm glad you think we're interesting.
Let's kick this off. Yeah, it works. We got to have the diplomacy. But anyway, let's get a little bit broad and kind of pull it in. And let's kick this off with you, Peter. I mean, let's talk about the genesis of Peasant. It's a interesting band, been going for quite a few years. So tell us how you actually came across, met all the members, and even came up with the name Peasant.
Well, it's basically, you might as well watch the Spinal Tap movie because we've had so many crazy stories and member changes over, 7 years now? We started about it was about 6-7 years ago. I moved down from Joburg. I used to be in a band called Conqueror up in Joburg, and that was also another metallic hardcore band with some of the dudes that used to be in the Dead Will Tell and currently Weed Dealer, and I don't know if anybody knows those bands, but and I wrote a demo while I was up there, and before I had moved down to Cape Town, I just thought I would try it out, and I met a couple people mutually through hardcore and through Conqueror because I had played shows in Durban and Bloem and stuff. There were other guys in the city that had moved as well, and we just started the band. And it just so turns out that I'm still the only original member from the origin of the band, and I still write most of the stuff. We've had two vocal. We had Byron Kramer in the beginning who did some vocals. We had Elaine Martese who was in Enmity. Byron was in Betray the Emissary, also Killer Dudes. And then over the course of a couple of years, Adri moved down for work and stuff. And then once Elaine was kind of done with us, we were just like, duh, why not hit up Adri? And here we are now. Yeah, I guess it's very strange because an interesting thing about our band is that every time I've written for a release, the vocalist has actually left a little bit after we've written the music. So we're in this weird situation where the band is never really, we've written music, but we've never gone, okay, cool. Now we can go, like, for instance, with this new stuff that we're doing, Adri's in the room, and we're going to write it like this. And it's also a big reason why I'm super excited about our new stuff, because I think everything sounds a lot more cohesive. But yeah, that's kind of the genesis of the band. We've done a couple of SA tours. We've toured Europe once in 2019. We've put out a 7-inch and a 12-inch record through Roasting Records. We've put out something like 3-4 EPs, one full-length record. Yeah.
Yeah, you've done your time, but in a quick space of time, which is very appropriate of hardcore, I guess. I'm kind of curious, though. I mean, like you said, you moved down from Joburg. There is quite a deep punk and hardcore scene here in Cape Town. Who were the bands that you kind of listened to, Peter, growing up? Who were the bands that kind of inspired you to go this route? Because it is a semi-obscure genre in this country, but
sure.
pockets of popularity.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a strange thing because it's interesting to me now how people get into hardcore because it's so different to like when I was growing up and listening to music. It's like nowadays kids see a YouTube link or they hear about someone featuring on a song and then they're like, I actually like that thing more, and then they just like go full on into that. But for someone growing up in Pretoria North and just hearing a lot of well, I mean, I loved it at the time, but it was like all sorts of Offspring, tons of Deftones, Rage Against the Machine, that kind of thing. But I'd never, ever been, all my friends that were like kind of into hardcore punk, they were like full on punk or they were full on metal. And I never, ever really got to this, I never got to experience, I always knew there was this word hardcore, but I always just thought it was like the way that people would describe the music and not necessarily a genre. But something happened. Deftones brought out a cover album, and there was a song on there by a band called Helmet, and that it's a song called Sinatra, and it's such a good song. It's still it's probably my favorite cover of all time. But Helmet was kind of one of those hardcore adjacent bands. They played a lot with bands like Cro-Mags, and they played a lot with bands. They were kind of metallic hardcore, lots of Madball and that kind of thing. And that's when it was kind of the same time that we got a 56K modem and I could like Wikipedia stuff. So it was, I was like, okay, let me figure out who these guys are all playing with. And then I was like, oh, there's a band called Earth Crisis and they're vegan straight edge. What's that? Oh, there's a band called Minor Threat. They're like the guys who started straight edge. What's this all about? And that was kind of like through the internet and through that song by itself was kind of how I figured out who was who. And like I started listening to bands like Terror and to Hatebreed and that kind of thing. And then from there it was just, yeah.
Sweet. So Adri, similar question. We're going to talk about your influences because, yeah, I remember back in the day when you were up in Gauteng, you being a straight up death metal machine. So I was wondering, like, firstly, how has the migration to like the hardcore style vocals gone, and like, what were your influences growing up musically?
So it was quite a steep climb to metal when I started off. I was always into like when I was really, really young, like primary school time, I was always like Metallica and AC/DC and things like that. But what really like took me all the way was Sepultura and Trivium. I literally found the music on my brother's computer. Like when, I was looking for music, I go on his PC and I like just grab whatever I find. And I grabbed like Sepultura, Slayer and Trivium, and then that just like took me like way up. And like I wasn't really into hardcore that much when I started out with like listening to more extreme music. The one band that did stand out for me like really, really well was Norma Jean, like the really like early Norma Jean stuff. And that was like insanely hardcore. Like even though I was like super into metal and like death metal was like always like mainly my main thing, that album really what was it, Memphis Late to
so that record was called blanking on the name now. Something was it? Oh God, the Redeemer.
Something on the lines of that. It was like
the one with the weird kid on the cover.
Yeah, and has like the yellowish like color on it, like
evil kid.
Yeah. When I listened to that, I was like, whoa! Like this opened up my eyes to like hardcore in the most extreme form. And then I kind of went down on like heavy metal through every like genre you could almost think of. And then when I kind of came back to hardcore again was just before I joined Peasant, was more the beat down style of hardcore, was like the Knock Loose and the Kublai Khan and things like that. And that's like really what cemented myself in hardcore these days, more than the more traditional stuff. So yeah, but that's basically my main hardcore influence that really went all the way through.
Cool, man. And keeping it flowing with you, you joined Peasant a couple of years back, and like the first time featuring on recording, correct me if I'm wrong, is with the album Unrest Eternal. So maybe take us through the process of recording and maybe your writing input for that album?
For Unrest Eternal, I wrote I would say like 50 to 80% of some of the lyrics and stuff like that. Peter and I usually work quite well together with putting words together and making things fit. So I'll like write something and then you'll lay it out. Musically, I didn't really do much. It was with Unrest Eternal, the album was, everything was basically written before I even joined the band. So everything, I just came there and they were like, here's this, and I'm like, yeah, let's go now, you know. So it was pretty cool to join when there was something already there and to work on. But yeah, it was just mainly so like 50 to 80% of the lyrics that I wrote in, and yeah, it was with the riffing that Peter laid out, it was just really easy to put together. So yeah, that was my main input, and yeah, a bit of the theme as well. We all have like a good general input with what we want to have an idea of and like take to the end. So yeah.
Sick.
All right. And in terms of the artwork for that album, was that kind of something that was decided on as a band, as a unit, or before you even came in also?
Yeah, that's I think something for Pete, was he's our main guy when it comes to putting all the look and the design of everything.
Yeah,
so yeah, I think we did that after we recorded. I think we did the artwork afterwards. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it together then. Yeah.
Were there obviously like Adri actually went and mentioned that he came in after the fact when a lot of the tracks were already written. Obviously, we mentioned that he has a very different mid to lower range guttural level. So were there any tracks on the album that you kind of adjusted when he came in, like thought, well, maybe this hook will work, maybe detune, or how was the process actually working with Adri here?
So we were totally figuring it out as we went along, I think. But the thing about Adri is that Adri's range is, Adri can go super high. He can do the thrashier punker thing. Like he actually, like, it's so cool because like every other vocalist, like, love and respect to them that I've worked with before, they've got a lane and they can kind of go into it and they're really good at doing that. But Adri, Adri will do a take and then everybody will go, oh shit, that's cool. And then I'll go, no. Like on this, but because it's like this, do that higher thing that you do, and then do. It's like he's pretty good at that. So we didn't change the music so much in terms of layout. But I think what we did do is we made sure that the vocals fitted his natural rhythm in terms of how it sat with the music. So instead of just working with what we had, we literally just stopped and we were like, okay, cool, like, let's go for it, like, and see what works, and then go into the room, do the pre-production, whatever doesn't work, we'll scale it back, add a little more, whatever. But yeah, Adri's really well known for the like death metal stuff, but I think that record is kind of a testament to how he can go kind of punky and thrashy as well.
True. It's a killer album, and I mean, the artwork has such an apocalyptic type feel to it. It's really, you really get the feel of it. But yeah, I guess let's pull this actually back to Adri, because we keep mentioning you're the new guy. So with that in mind, I mean, Peasant has quite a bit of a back catalogue, as we've mentioned. You guys obviously didn't have many chances to play out the new album in full, so you were generally playing a lot of new material at your recent shows from like the December of 2019 to 2020 when it all ended. So with that in mind, are there any tracks from the back catalogue, like the tracks that Elaine did vocals on, any of the older tracks that you guys are like steadfast, we got to still keep these tracks in the set list, or any ones that you were like, hey, I think I could give this a go? And I think maybe, yeah, we'll target you, Adri, on this one.
Oh, you're putting me in a spot here with the old tracks. So, I mean, like the one song that I always really loved was Circles. That was like I think it has a really like deep meaning, and it hits really hard for me. Well, Graham and I, the drummer at Drum and Peasant, we always like fight to get that song in, but we chose just jam wise and live performance wise. We feel that Heed the Wall and Ender is the two biggest hard hitting songs that just feel really like wow. And you know the previous guys that have recorded that, I mean Elaine and Byron, they just made it so easy because they're just such phenomenal vocalists that for me to kind of like do exactly what they did but add my own style to it, it just like sat really well. So I think those two songs are really the songs that we'll maybe try our best to keep in the set, like going like carry on jamming and things like that. But yeah, my personal favorite is Circles. We have to get Circles in.
Everybody keeps arguing with me because I don't think Circles is so good, but they keep bugging me to chuck it back in the set list.
So it's like a
I think we just try and stick to, in a weird way, it's just the singles that we stick to in terms of what we've released. So Heed the Wall and Circles and Ender are all songs that were singles off of the previous EPs that we've released, and I guess it's just because it's familiar with people that we stick with them, I guess. But they're also good songs and good performances, I think.
Sick. So normally we start the show with checking in on about like how lockdown has affected everybody, and sometimes that can start it off on a bit of a somber note. So I figured we'd now, once we've done a little bit of talking, sort of check in with you guys how lockdown has affected you, and especially like you guys were like cruising and gathering momentum, right? So how has it affected you guys as a band? And I'll direct this to you, Peter.
I think, you know what, it has been tough because, I mean, it's been tough for everyone. I think for me personally, the weirdest thing about where we're at now is just not, I mean, shows are cool. Like I love playing shows. It's awesome. But in a weird way, what I've realized is that it's almost like the before and after the shows that are like the funnest things that I miss out of everything. Because we can still play music and we can still write and we can still record and do that stuff. But like being around people, talking shit about, just like this, like we haven't gotten to talk about music for like, I don't know, like a year with other people that aren't in the band. So this is cool, you know. It's weird. In a sense, I feel like lockdown has almost given me more perspective about how other people perceive our band, because we were unplugged from it for so long that like 6 months later, we had written some demos for this new stuff, and then I'd listened to it and I'd gone, it's actually not good enough. It's not what we should be doing with Adri. We can't do the same stuff over again. We've got to kind of, I don't know, just get a bit more critical in terms of songwriting and that kind of thing. So I'm super happy that I've been given that perspective through being unplugged for a couple of months. I mean, does it suck because we don't get money through shows anymore? Fuck yeah, because we've lost a lot of money trying to get our new recordings done, which sucks. But, you know, I mean, it's tough, but I think in a weird way, it's almost forcing us to think differently about how we make money going forward as a band, which I think is important because we've always been the kind of band that would release something and then we'd go to Pretoria and Joburg and Durban and make money off of the merch and the shows and that kind of thing. And now that we don't have that, we have to go, okay, cool. Now we have to kind of channel we have to make the songs really, really good. We need to make the music video super cool. We need to make sure that the production is 100% suiting the music and kind of the best quality that we can achieve with the budget that we have. And all those things are things that we're forcing ourselves to do now because we have time. We don't have to just think about playing the next Mercury show or trying to get the merch together to go on tour or whatever. So I genuinely think that this kind of break is tough, but it's actually going to serve us better in the long run because going forward, we'd be able to consider both ends of, you know, playing shows and not playing shows kind of seriously. Yeah.
you actually did touch on something there that I was going to direct at Adri, and Adri, feel free, obviously, to redirect. But you guys are one of these bands that churns out merch designs, and you always seem to have some new shirt or something that cool for the fans. Is that something that you normally do well by selling at shows, or is it something that's like semi-sustainable during this lockdown period? Like, has merch sales helped you guys at all during this lockdown period?
So it's been it's kind of weird because I don't know. Sorry, do you want to take it?
No. I was going to touch on a little bit, but I'll definitely redirect.
Okay, cool. No, it's just funny because I do all the merch designs, and because I study design and animation and a bunch of stuff, so I kind of ran that part of the thing. It was cool in the beginning. It was crazy in the beginning of lockdown. We had never made so many online sales as we had ever made, like even at shows or going on tour. Like just a week or two in, we just went, okay, cool. Here's our leftover stuff. We've made one new hoodie or whatever it was. I think it was a hoodie. And then we put that out, and we sold almost like 3/4 of the stock that we had left over in that moment. I think there were so many people that were uncertain and still had money in their pockets to like be like, oh my God, you can't play shows. So like, here's, let's get a shirt or whatever. And that was super cool. It is just a little harder to expect of people that are, probably just normal middle class working people to keep sustaining that level of purchasing throughout. So it did go down a bit, but I think again, I feel like that responsibility to make that happen again is kind of on us to go like, cool, when we do release the music and it is the best that it can be, we will have people's attention. So at the time we'll release another couple cool merch items, and hopefully keep the train rolling on and some more money in the bank so that we can just keep doing it again.
Yeah, and when it comes to the designs and things like that, and like making the actual merch. I mean, Peter has always helped us out with that. He's a phenomenal design artist. So whenever we're like, okay, cool. It's never like we have to get together and be like, okay, we think of something for a shirt or anything. Peter is just like 4 or like 5 rad images of the coolest shit we've ever seen. They're like, hey, what do you guys think? Let me know if we do that. We just like do it now, like while we even talking about it. So yeah, Peter's always been amazing with that. So yeah, we always have fresh stuff to put on stuff, and it's amazing.
It's good stuff. On the plus side with all of this is that you mentioned when you do new releases, you tend to put out new merch. So we get to the fun part of the conversation tonight. There's new Peasant underway. So let's direct this to you, Peter, and then we'll actually hit you also, Adri. How's the process been? How is it sounding?
I'm fucking excited. Like, I know it's the most typical thing for every band to always go like, yeah, cool, we've totally stepped it up on this one, and the production's better, and we're feeling very excited, and blah, blah, blah. But I genuinely think that this is the first time where I'm starting to feel like we're starting to sound like ourselves in a way that we maybe haven't really heard before, just by working so much harder at songwriting and production and getting the right recording process down. What we've done for this new EP is we've kind of limited ourselves to 3 songs, but we've actually spent the same amount of time and budget that we did for the whole record that we just put out. So I feel like we're now, well, I'm personally, as a songwriter, I'm starting to realize like, cool, that's actually like what we should be doing from day one, is just like, not just putting out songs for the sake of putting out songs or going on tour for the sake of going on tour. It's more like, what do we have to say? How are we going to put it down into music? Does it match the vocals? Do the vocals match the music? Is it catchy enough? in a like hooky sense? Are we like kind of the best version that we can be for what we're doing right now? And I think we've gotten quite close to getting that right on these 3 new songs. So yeah, I'm very excited. We just got a first cut of our new music video today, which is cool, and it's looking great. Yeah, I'm very excited. Like I said earlier, it's funny because every release that we've put out was always, the vocalist always had to come in after we had finished the music. So this was the first time almost ever where we're going like, okay, Adri's the dude in the room, like let's write the music to fit Adri. And I mean, it sounds so basic, but that's kind of what I was doing while I was writing the songs. I was like, if I could give Adri this kind of thing, then it would just like boom. And I think that's definitely happening this time around, which is exciting.
Yeah, it's really, really excited with the new songs as well. It's like Peter was saying, with this, it's like a different approach to how we will take it vocally and a little bit musically as well. Because I mean, the new songs will have there's that distinct Peasant sound in it, but it definitely has a new take on how we feel that we want to take the music a bit further. So definitely excited about that. So yeah, you're gonna get a good mix of everything from everyone in the track. So yeah, it's really excited.
Awesome, killer, guys. This has been such a great chat. I think it's gone by in a breeze, a breeze of hardcore. So I really want to thank you guys so much. Yeah, that's it from our side.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it.
It has been so awesome chatting to you guys. We can't wait to hear new music. We've been waiting a while, but there's a bit of light at the end of this lockdown tunnel. So yeah, we'll stay tuned and check out their Bandcamp. Check out Peasant on Bandcamp. All of their material, all their merch, all their vinyl. It's all there. Well, what's left of it, go support. Get these guys through the hard times. And yeah, I think we're going to wrap that up for this week, Alec. What do you say?
100%.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we'll be back same time, same place on the interweb. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good shit. And yeah, we'll see you same time, same place next week. Chat, guys.
Thanks, dudes.
Oh yeah, cheers.
Peace.